Beginning, the soldier nobody noticed. War has a strange way of making people invisible. Not the heroes, of course. Everyone remembers the commanders, the famous aces, the warriors whose victories become legends across the stars. But soldiers like me? We disappear into the background. My name is Ethan Calder, infantry specialist in the United Earth Expeditionary Corps. I served aboard the warship Resolute Dawn, one of the many vessels sent to defend humanity's colonies during the Orion Border War. The enemy was ruthless. The KRYTH Dominion had spent decades expanding across the galaxy, conquering systems and enslaving civilizations. Humanity had only recently discovered faster-than-light travel, and suddenly we were fighting an empire thousands of years older than us. Fortunately, we weren't alone. Several alien civilizations had joined the alliance against the Dominion. Among them were the Varillians. They were unlike any species humanity had ever encountered. Tall, elegant warriors with skin that shimmered like polished silver and glowing blue eyes that seemed to pierce through darkness itself. Their society revolved around honor and combat. Every Varillian trained as a warrior from childhood, and leading their forces was someone the entire alliance respected, Princess Karen, the heir to the Varillian throne, and the most feared commander on the battlefield. The first time I saw her was during a strategy briefing aboard the Resolute Dawn. She stood at the center of the command table wearing her battle armor, sleek plates of alien metal that shifted colors under the lights like liquid starlight. Every officer in the room listened to her with complete attention. Except me. I was standing near the back wall with the rest of the infantry. To me, she was just another high-ranking officer giving orders. I had no idea my life was about to become strangely connected to hers. The Battle of Carthus IV. Our first real encounter happened during the Battle of Carthus IV. The Dominion had attacked the mining colony, and the Alliance sent ground forces to push them back. The fighting was brutal. Dominion soldiers were massive armored creatures with energy weapons capable of tearing through entire platoons. Explosions shook the battlefield constantly. Smoke covered the sky. Communication signals were filled with frantic voices. In the middle of that chaos, I got separated from my squad. One moment, I was advancing with the others. The next, a Dominion walker exploded nearby and knocked me into a crater. When I crawled out, I found myself surrounded by enemy troops. 3 of them. Their weapons pointed directly at me. I knew I wasn't walking away from that moment. Then something streaked through the smoke. A flash of silver armor. Princess Karen. She moved faster than anything I had ever seen. Her energy blade cut through the Dominion soldiers with terrifying precision. Within seconds, they were gone. She turned toward me. For a moment, we just stared at each other. "You are human infantry," she said calmly. "Yes, ma'am." "You were outnumbered." That tends to happen to me. Something about my answer made her pause. Then she simply nodded and continued toward the battlefield without another word. That should have been the end of it. But for some reason, it wasn't. The warrior who watched me. Over the following weeks, I began noticing something strange. Princess Karen kept appearing near my unit. At first, I assumed it was coincidence. After all, she commanded large sections of the battlefield. But the pattern became impossible to ignore. If my squad was assigned to a dangerous operation, she was nearby. If our patrol encountered heavy resistance, she appeared. Twice she saved my life during firefights. The third time, my squad mate Nolan finally said what everyone was thinking. "You realize the alien princess keeps watching you, right?" I frowned. "That's ridiculous." "Is it?" he replied. "She shows up every time you're about to get yourself killed. That's just good timing. Or she likes you." I laughed. A royal alien warrior falling for a random human soldier? Stranger things have happened. I dismissed the idea. Princess Karen was a legend. I was just another soldier trying to survive the war. Our worlds were too different. At least, that's what I believed. Until the night before the final battle. The discovery. The Dominion had launched a massive assault on the frontier world of Lorien Prime. If they captured the planet, they would gain control of a strategic gateway into Alliance territory. Every available fleet was mobilized. Every soldier prepared for the fight. The night before deployment, I was assigned to deliver equipment to the Verilian command deck. That's how I ended up outside Princess Karen's private armory. The door was partially open. Inside, she stood alone, removing pieces of her armor. I was about to knock when something caught my attention. The inside of her chest plate faced the light, and carved into the metal were several symbols. One of them was my name, Ethan. For a moment, I thought I was imagining it. Why would a royal alien commander carve the name of a human soldier into her armor? My confusion must have shown because she turned suddenly and saw me standing there. Our eyes met. For the first time since I'd known her, she looked nervous. Climax, the meaning behind the name. You were not meant to see that, she said quietly. I stepped inside slowly. Your Highness, why is my name carved into your armor? For a moment she said nothing. Then she picked up the chest plate and ran her fingers across the carved letters. In Verilian tradition, she explained softly, a warrior may engrave the name of someone important beneath their armor. Important how? Her glowing eyes met mine. It is done for one of two reasons. I waited. The first reason, she said, is to honor someone who saved your life. I frowned, but I never saved yours. No, she agreed. You did not. Then what's the second reason? She hesitated. Then she answered. The second reason is far more personal. My heart started beating faster. What reason? Her voice softened. A Verilian warrior engraves the name of the person they fight for. I stared at her. You mean motivation? No. Her gaze didn't waver. I mean the one they would give their life to protect. The words hit me harder than any explosion on the battlefield. You carved my name there? I whispered. Yes. But why? She stepped closer. Because the first time I saw you on Carthus 4, you stood your ground even when death was certain. That was just desperation. To us, she said, it was courage. She paused. And because every time I watch you fight, you protect others before yourself. I didn't know what to say. So you carved my name, I murmured. Because when I enter battle, she said quietly, I want to remember who I fight for. For several seconds, I couldn't speak, ending the battle and the truth. The next day, the battle for Lorien Prime began. Dominion fleets darkened the sky. Explosions shook entire continents. Our ground forces pushed forward against overwhelming numbers. And Princess Karen fought at the front lines like a living storm. I saw her armor shining through smoke and fire. And every time she charged into danger, I remembered the name carved beneath that armor. My name. At one point, our defensive line collapsed. Dominion forces rushed through the breach. Our unit was about to be overrun. Then Karen appeared again, leading a Verilian strike team. Together, we pushed the enemy back. By the end of the battle, the Dominion fleet retreated. Lorien Prime was saved. Hours later, as the battlefield finally fell silent, I found Karen standing alone near the command outpost. Her armor was damaged but intact. I walked toward her slowly. You survived, she said. So did you. For a moment we stood quietly, watching the distant stars. Then I said something that had been on my mind since the night before. Do Verilians ever remove names from their armor? She shook her head. Never. Why? Because once a name is carved, it becomes part of the warrior. I smiled slightly. That's a lot of pressure. Her glowing eyes softened. It is also a promise. A promise? That the warrior will fight until the last breath to protect that person. I looked at the silver plates covering her chest, knowing my name was hidden beneath them. You know, I said quietly, when I first joined the army, I thought nobody noticed soldiers like me. She tilted her head slightly. I noticed. For the second time since meeting her, I had no words. And for once, the legendary Varillian princess looked just as speechless as I felt. Because sometimes, even in the middle of a galaxy-wide war, the most powerful things warriors carry into battle aren't weapons. Sometimes, they're names.